The beta testers gathered in a dimly lit room, each one eager to be among the first to experience Zenith, the virtual reality game that promised an unprecedented level of immersion. Excitement buzzed in the air as they strapped on their sleek VR headsets, the anticipation palpable. The promise of a lush, expansive landscape awaited them as they dove into the realm of pixels and possibilities. As the virtual world materialized before them, gasps of awe escaped the testers. Lush landscapes sprawled as far as the eye could see. Vibrant cities rose on the horizon, indistinguishable from reality. It was a breathtaking spectacle beyond anything they had imagined. The level of detail was staggering, and the sensation of being transported to another world was nothing short of magical. For hours, they marveled at the wonders of Zenith, exploring uncharted territories, battling mythical creatures, and living out their wildest fantasies. The line between reality and the virtual realm blurred, and the gamers reveled in the thrill of the immersive experience. However, when the time came to return to the mundane, they discovered a chilling truth. The logout command, a simple gesture that should have brought them back to reality, failed to respond. Panic spread among the testers like wildfire. Frantic attempts to remove their headsets proved futile, as if the virtual world had claimed them as its own. As the realization set in, a new horror emerged. Hunger clawed at their virtual stomachs, a sensation so vivid that it transcended the boundaries of the game. Desperation took hold as they searched for food that didn't exist, grappling with the unnerving prospect that the game's virtual constraints now governed their very survival. With each passing moment, Zenith transformed from a thrilling adventure into a nightmarish ordeal. The group, once bound by the camaraderie of gaming, now faced a grim reality where every misstep could have dire consequences. Fighting for their lives took on a whole new meaning. In Zenith, the ultimate prize wasn't conquering the game, it was surviving it. As the virtual world plunged into chaos, the beta testers clung to the hope that somewhere within the labyrinth of code, a solution awaited. The zenith of terror had only just begun. As they continued to search for food in a building, they heard a thunderous growl outside. As they looked outside, they found a horrifying beast lurking. Heartbeats echoed in their ears as the group cowered inside the building, the monstrous creature's growls sending shivers down their spines. In the surreal landscape of Zenith, the horror was all too real. As the monster got closer, desperation fueled courage, and the group fumbled for weapons conjured from the game's inventory. As they stepped outside to face the beast, it lunged with fearsome intent as they swung makeshift swords and fired arcane spells. Yet, to their dismay, the creature seemed impervious to their attacks. It was a nightmarish dance, a cruel charade of survival. A chilling realization settled over the testers. The dangers in Zenith were not mere lines of code. They were tangible threats that could inflict genuine harm. One by one, members of the group succumbed to the beast's onslaught. Bloodied and battered, they lay on the virtual ground, feeling every agonizing moment as if it were reality. As the remaining survivors frantically escaped the horrible scene they had just witnessed, they realized they needed to find a way out of this once beautiful landscape turned nightmare. As they made their way through the city, they felt an unreal sense they were being watched. As they walked further, suddenly, 3 more beasts appeared in the distance. Their hearts dropped as they felt impending doom. Looking back behind them, they were shocked to see 2 more beasts slowly coming towards them, realizing there was no way out of this nightmare of reality. They searched their inventory for anything that might be able to yield in their attempt for survival. One of the players discovered a spell that could be devastating to the creatures. They waited for the monsters to get closer, and then all of a sudden, they used the magnificent spell that cast all the creatures back and seemed to do immense harm, giving them a sense of relief and hope. To their disbelief, one of the creatures got back up and charged them. It pounced on top of one of the players, biting viciously at their face. The beast had the player's head in its jaws, teeth sinking in with stains of blood. Just as the monstrous creature was about to kill the player, an unseen force tore them from the virtual world. Reality crashed around them, a disorienting blend of blinding lights and sterile surroundings. The once vibrant landscapes of Zenith dissolved into the stark white walls of a medical facility. Disoriented and gasping for breath, the tester found themselves restrained on a cold white bed. Doctors in pristine white lab coats swarmed around them, their urgent movements accompanied by the cold beeping of medical equipment. Blood oozed from wounds that felt all too real, and panic seized their minds as they struggled against the restraints. Frantic voices filled the air, a chaotic symphony of urgency and distress. The transition from the virtual nightmare to the sterile reality was a jarring collision of worlds. The boundary between Zenith and the hospital room blurred. The fate of the player hung in a precarious balance, suspended between the virtual abyss and the cold embrace of reality. The doctors worked feverishly, their efforts intensified by the uncertainty of the player's survival. As the darkness enveloped them, the player's consciousness teetered on the edge of oblivion. The line between life and the digital afterlife blurred, leaving the ultimate question unanswered. Had they escaped Zenith, or were they condemned to an eternal limbo between pixels and flesh?